Welcome back to Horror Movies.
Today, I will be showing you an American horror film from 2015 titled 13 Cameras. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins with an old man named Gerald shopping for hidden cameras. Gerald is quiet by nature and always has a strange look on his face. The movie then cuts to a property that Gerald owns and rents out to others. A young man named Ryan and his pregnant wife Claire arrive to check out the property. They are new in town and Claire is immediately turned off by Gerald's shabby appearance and nasty body odor. She complains to Ryan but he tells her to hush. Gerald gives them a tour of the house, which has its own heating swimming pool. The renters can bring pets and use the entire house except the owner's closet. The couple love the house and they quickly move in with the help of their friend Paul and his wife Audrey. The next day, Ryan invites Paul and Audrey for dinner but the invitee himself arrives late. Claire entertains the guests, and Ryan eventually arrives with the groceries, explaining he was stuck in a traffic jam. Claire doesn't buy the excuse as Paul and Audrey arrived on time but Ryan tells her that it took him longer because he is not familiar with the area unlike Paul. Moreover, Ryan has brought swordfish for dinner, which his pregnant wife can't eat because it contains mercury. However, Ryan tells her that his mother smoked a pack a day when she was pregnant with him and a little fish isn't going to kill Claire. During dinner, Claire tells their guests about Gerald and calls him a creepy man. Paul points out that Gerald might have a key to their apartment, much to Claire's dismay. Worried, Claire insists on changing the locks but Ryan assures her that he is there to protect her. Later, the gents talk by the pool and Ryan complains about his non-existent love life. Ryan reveals that he spends his time with Claire painting rooms, shopping for furniture online and watching Claire's favorite house renovation shows. He calls Claire a great roommate. Before leaving, Audrey invites Claire to her book club tomorrow night. Claire is excited to meet new people and make some friends as she is new to the town. She tells Ryan about her plans and heads into the shower. As she showers alone, it is revealed that Gerald has installed cameras throughout the home, including the shower. He creeps on her with his mouth wide open as Claire bathes. The next day, before Ryan leaves for work, Claire asks him to call his company to boost the phone signal as they don't get any cell service inside their home. Later that day, it is revealed that Ryan is having an affair with his personal assistant Hannah, who he invites to his home for dinner as Claire is only sent to return home after midnight. After dinner, they get it on the table as Gerald creeps on them from his control room. Gerald also spies on them showering together where Hannah asks Ryan about his plans to leave his wife. Ryan tells her that he can't leave just yet because they just moved to a new town. The next day, Claire begins preparing her baby's nursery and asks for Ryan's input. However, Ryan doesn't seem interested, which upsets her. When Claire forces him to help, in anger, Ryan forcefully opens the owner's closet to look for a hammer. However, they learn that Gerald lied to them about it being a closet and the door opens to a stair that leads to a basement. Ryan proceeds to inspect but Claire persuades him against it. Afterwards, Ryan calls his mistress and asks her to come over to his home tomorrow for a hot pool session. Gerald overhears the conversation through his surveillance cameras and after Ryan and Claire leave to buy some furniture, Gerald uses his spare keys to enter the house. He gives snacks to Ryan's dog Baron to keep him from barking before stripping down to his underwear to install cameras inside the swimming pool. Afterwards, the creepy old man sniffs everything that Claire touched and sticks her toothbrush in his nasty mouth. Claire brushes her teeth after returning home and she notices the nasty smell coming from the toothbrush but Ryan tells her that it is just her pregnant nose. The next day, after Claire leaves for her mom club meeting, Hannah arrives. Hannah seems interested in knowing about Claire and Ryan tells her that Claire is 3 years older than her. Ryan and Claire met at a bar in New York and instantly hit it off. He says they were initially happy but after marriage, Claire changed and he has been unhappy with his marriage ever since. Ryan then jumps in the pool with Hannah and the two make love underwater as Gerald watches. Later, Gerald makes several adjustments in the house after Ryan leaves for work. When Claire and Ryan return home, they find chunks of bacon that Gerald fed him in Baron's vomit but they don't think much of it. That night, Hannah misses Ryan and calls him but he warns her not to call him when he is with Claire. Meanwhile, Gerald regularly sneaks into the house to make adjustments whenever he finds it empty. One day, Hannah shows up at the couple's home when Ryan's at work. It is revealed that Hannah was unaware about Claire's pregnancy. Later, when Ryan returns home, he is shocked to see Hannah and Claire tell him that she came by to hook up the signal booster in their home. While seeing Hannah out, Ryan confronts her for showing up without telling him and in response, Hannah confronts him for keeping her in the dark about his wife's pregnancy. Before leaving, she tells him to come clean about everything to his wife. That night, Ryan and Claire rekindle their romance and make love together as Gerald watches and listens with his eyes and ears wide open. It seems Gerald installed microphones throughout the house during his last few visits. Later that night, Hannah again calls Ryan on his cell phone, forcing him to switch off his mobile. However, Hannah doesn't stop there and she calls Claire's phone, and before Claire could wake up, Ryan picks up the phone and tells Hannah off. The next day, he calls his telephone operator to block Hannah's number and comes clean to Paul about his affair. As Gerald researches Hannah, Claire discovers that their toilet flush isn't working and she calls Gerald about it. Claire tries to get him to come before Ryan leaves for work, but Gerald tells her that he can only drop by after 11 tomorrow. After fixing the toilet flush the next day, Claire thanks him and tries to get him to leave, but the creepy man places his hand on Claire's pregnant belly and predicts that she is about to have a girl. That evening, Ryan tells Claire that he is not happy with their marriage and they should start seeing a marriage counselor. Claire asks him if he's having an affair, but he lies to her and tells her that he just wants to fix their marriage before things get bad. Claire agrees and the two visit a marriage counselor the next day. Afterwards, Claire finds a female ring by the pool and she checks with Audrey if it's her ring, but Audrey tells her that she hasn't lost any ring. Claire is troubled by the ring, but she can't bring herself to ask Ryan about it. Claire and Ryan also keep getting calls from an unknown number which Ryan knows belongs to Hannah. Ryan initially ignores the calls, but he eventually answers it to tell her off, but Hannah threatens to show up at his home and expose their affair. Afraid of Claire showing up, Ryan takes Claire out for dinner. As promised, Hannah arrives and finds the house empty. She calls Ryan and warns him that she won't leave until he returns with Claire and they talk it out. Gerald watches it all transpire from the control room and he rushes to the house. He attacks her from behind and abducts her. Afterwards, he removes Hannah's car from the driveway and goes back to the control room. Moments after Gerald leaves, Paul arrives to check if Hannah left, and after finding the house empty, he gives the green light to Ryan. After returning home, Ryan notices several missed calls left by Hannah on Claire's phone, so he gets her phone wet so he could keep Hannah from contacting his wife. When Claire finds her phone, he offers to get it repaired for her and later tells her that she would have to get a new number. He also hires a guy named Josh as his assistant. That night, Claire asks Ryan about the ring, but he denies having any knowledge about it. After Ryan and Claire leave, it is revealed that Gerald has held Hannah captive in the basement when he arrives to feed her. Later, Audrey pays Claire a visit and tells her about Ryan's infidelity. When Ryan returns home, he finds his clothes on the porch. He realizes that he has been exposed and he tries to downplay his affair by saying it only happened once in his office, but Claire still kicks him out. After Ryan leaves, Claire sends Audrey home and she proceeds to take a shower. As Claire takes a shower, Gerald notices Hannah trying to break free from the basement, and he immediately rushes to stop her from running away. He quietly sneaks into the home and destroys her attempts to flee. The next day, Claire notices a camera outside the home and she immediately rushes to Ryan. When she returns home with him, he finds the cameras missing. Seeing her freaked out, he offers to sleep on the couch and keep her company. At midnight, Hannah again blocks Gerald's video feed and tries her best to scream and alert Claire and Ryan about her presence. They eventually hear screams and free her. Hannah tells Ryan about Gerald. Horrified, Ryan asks Claire and Hannah to lock themselves in Claire's room and call the police while he grabs a baseball bat to confront Gerald. Meanwhile, afraid of getting caught, the deranged landlord cuts the power to the home. As Ryan checks the secret basement, Gerald sneaks into the house through the window. Meanwhile, Claire fails to contact the police as the signal is always poor inside the home, so Hannah jumps out the window, promising to return with help. Soon, Gerald kills Ryan with a hammer and looks for the other two occupants. He hears Hannah's movements outside and attacks her from behind. Hannah tries to fight back, but Gerald pushes her in the pool and drowns her. The eccentric man then goes after Claire. Several weeks pass by and Gerald finally calls the police. He lies to them that Ryan and Claire disappeared from their homes. The police inspect the property and fail to find any evidence. Gerald then returns home and it is revealed that he has kept Claire alive in his home. After feeding her, Gerald drives off to meet his new prospective renters with what seems like Claire and Ryan's baby. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.